90.9 The Vine, in conjunction with AreaSports.net, proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch is the area's only locally produced weekly sports show that is live on FM radio and also streamed live on both of our websites at AreaSports.net and WVYN.org. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch is on the air right now. Well, hello again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch. Here live on a Saturday morning. We're just a couple of weeks out from Christmas. I'm Randy Olson in the studio along with Danny Anselment. Proudly presents Good grief, Danny. A lot of basketball games in the area last night, and we're into the conference basketball season now, and these games mean a lot. The Sports Couch is the area's only locally produced weekly sports show that is live on FM radio and also streamed live on both of our websites at AreaSports.net and WVYN. Yeah, I got to tell you folks something. Danny's already been talking about the hospitality this morning at the Conrad Allen. Let's find out. And I bet we'll see probably Bruce Dickey is on the air right now. I bet he'll come over for that hospitality. I'd better be. Well, hello again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch. You're live on Saturday morning. We're just a couple of weeks out from Christmas. I'm Randy Olson in the studio along with Danny Anselment. Proudly presents the basketball games in the area last night, and we're into the conference basketball season now. And these games mean a lot. The first game this morning is the area line with the locally produced weekly sports show that is live on those games at 12 noon and 1:30 back-to-back respectively. It'll be a bit of a break. We won't cover Game 3 though today, but Game 4, the Wayne City Indians will be. Yeah, I got to tell you folks something. See, Danny's already been talking about the hospitality this morning. Let's find out. And I bet we'll see probably Bruce Dickey on the air. And tonight, Marty and Bruce will be back in action with the Fairfield Mules. Well, hello again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch. We're on the Vine radio a couple of weeks out from Christmas. I'm Randy Olson in the studio along with Danny Anselment. Yeah, a lot of games last night, and we're into the conference basketball season now. I know. Man, what a rivalry that game was. Yeah, you know, we're locally produced county weekly tonight. That is live. Those games are 12 noon and 1:40 back-to-back respectively. There'll be a bit of a break. We won't cover Game 3 though today, but Game 4, the Wayne City Indians. Yeah, I got to tell you something. You see, Danny's already been talking about the hospitality this morning. Let's find out. And I bet we'll see probably Bruce is on the air. And tonight, Marty and Bruce will be back in action with the Fairfield Mules. Well, hello again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition. Those of you listening online or on the Vine, remember you can also watch the video stream this morning on AreaSports.net, and oftentimes we'll Sports Couch. We're on the Vine radio a couple of weeks out from Christmas. I'm Randy Olson in the studio on the show today. We have Sports Couch. I know. Man, what a rivalry that game was. Yeah, you know, there's a game between Lawrence and those games are 12 noon and 1:40 back. I think that was kind of if I had to know better, I thought it was yeah, I got to tell you something. You see, Danny's already been talking about the hospitality this morning. Let's find out. Anyway, also the show line is on the air. And tonight, Marty and Bruce will be back hosting the conference. Well, hello again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition. Those of you listening online or on the Vine, remember you can also watch Andy Fehrenbacher, the video stream this morning. He's going to join us this morning, head coach of the Salem Wildcats. These guys are ready to play the week's three games. On the show today, we're right on the league. I know. What a rivalry. There's a game between Lawrence and I think that was kind of if I had to know better, I thought it was yeah, I got to tell you, because already been talking about they are 3 Let's find out. Anyway, also tonight, Marty and Bruce back hosting the conference. Well, hello again, sports fans. Hawks, you listening, already got 4 or 5 games under their belt. Of course, they're a new entry this year. You can also watch Andy Fehrenbacher, the scoreboard. He's going to join us this morning. Head coach of Salem Wildcats. These guys are ready to take a legit game. On the show today,
I think that was kind of, if I had to know better, I thought it was just testing there. I put a lid on that.
Was it?
I don't know.
Well, hello again. This morning, Hawks, you listening, already got 4 or 5 games under their belt. Head coach of their new entry this year. You can also watch Andy Fehrenbacher, the scoreboard. Talking about the joint spring. Head coach of Salem Wildcats. These guys are ready to take a legit game. On the show today,
I think that was kind of,
they're all posted in it's different than everybody else. Was it?
I don't know.
Well, hello again. This morning, Hawks, you listening, already got 4 or 5 games under their belt. Head coach of their new entry this year. Watch Andy Fehrenbacher, the scoreboard. Talking about the joint spring. Head coach of Salem Wildcats. These guys are ready to take a legit game. On the show today,
That's weird. That's just a sign. I think that was kind of,
they're all posted in it's different than everybody else. Was it?
I don't know.
Well, hello again. This morning, Hawks, you listening, already got 4 or 5 games under their belt. Head coach of their new
I think that was kind of,
to have you on the show. When you jumped out to that lead, I was waiting for somebody to go and hit the breaker box. Might be over right there. That was 3 guys, 4 or 5 games under their belt. Well, let's be honest, there was a better mules after last night than
I think that was kind of,
they're all posted in to have you on the show. When you jumped out to that lead, I was waiting for somebody to go and hit the breaker box. Right there. That was 3 guys. Back to your Mills game last night with Laredo. Very physical game. Has in all of last night. So, credit to you. Back down. Well, let's be honest, there was a better mules after last night than you said.
think that was kind of
You jumped out that area, wait for somebody to go through the grab right there. That was great stuff. Back in the Mills game last night was a very physical game. Well, let's be honest, there was a better mule last night. One quarter last night, 18-16. You jumped out that area, wait for somebody to go through the grab right there. That was great stuff. Back in the Mills game last night was a very physical game. Well, let's be honest, there was a better mule last night. One quarter last night, 18-16. Danny, he mentioned Ray May. You boys jumped out that area. Wait for somebody to go through the grab right there. That was great stuff. Back in the Mills game last night was a very physical game. Well, let's be honest, there was a better mule last night. One quarter last night, 18-16. Danny, he mentioned Ray May. You boys back in the Mills game last night was a very physical game.
Last night, down to run, 1 out, 2, 1 out, 3.
Well, let's be honest, there was a better mule last night. One quarter last night, 18-16. Danny, he mentioned Ray May. You boys back in the Mills game last night was a very physical game. Yeah, it's not like you're not working on bicycles in practice.
Last night, down to run, 1 out, 2, 1 out, 3.
Well, let's be honest, there was a better mule last night. One quarter last night, 18-16. Yeah, it's not like you're not working on it. Run pretty high last night. A lot of emotion in Belgrade on Thursday night. One quarter last night, 16 Yeah, it's not like you're not working on it. Run pretty high last night. A lot of emotion in Belgrade on
So he got to take his own dad out. As a whole.
Yeah.
No, we're not making light of it. I see some things going on down there.
Yeah, it's not like you're not working on it. Run pretty high last night. A lot of emotion in Belgrade on
I agree. So he got to take his own dad out.
Real quick, let's talk about tonight's game. You face the only Tigers, old NEC foe.
No, we're not making light of it. I see some things going on down there.
Yeah, it's not like you're not working on it. Run pretty high last night. A lot of emotion in Belgrade on
I agree. So he got to take his own dad out.
That's cool. Real quick, let's talk about tonight's game. You face the only Tigers, old NEC foe.
No, we're not making light of it. I see some things going on down there.
Yeah, it's not like you're not working on it. All right, well, what's the key to victory tonight then? Run pretty high last night. A lot of emotion in Belgrade.
I agree. So he got to take his own dad out.
That's cool. Real quick, let's talk about tonight's game. You face the only Tigers, old NEC foe.
No, we're not making light of it.
All right, Scott. Well, thanks for your time. Scott, some best of luck again.
I see some things going on down there.
All right, well, again, you can catch what's the key to victory tonight. Action for that game.
I agree.
Tonight he should be up there at all.
He got played so bad out of conference games.
Real quick, let's talk about tonight's game. When we come back, we're going to talk about the off to a great start. Coach Jeff Morris.
We're not like
all right.
It's the sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 949 The Line at AreaSports.net.
Great start. Coach Jeff Morris. All right.
It's the sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 949 The Line at AreaSports.net.
Great start. Coach Jeff Morris. All right.
It's the sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 949 The Line at AreaSports.net.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on Saturday. 90.9 Divine Radio. And live online on both of our websites. Live real quick. When we come back, we talk about the great start. Coach Jeff Morris. All right.
It's the sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 949 The Line at AreaSports.net.
Yeah, we did not have a game. Welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on Saturday. 90.9 Divine Radio. And live online on both of our websites. Live real quick. Great start. Coach Jeff Morris. All right.
Sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 949 The Line at AreaSports.net.
We did not have a game.
Well, I'm excited.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on Saturday. And we're doing the same radio. Website.
The sports talk show that everyone's talking about. It's the Sports Couch on AreaSports.net.
We did not have a game.
Talk about that crap. Well, I'm excited.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch.
The sports talk show that everyone's talking about. It's the Sports Couch on AreaSports.net.
Let's talk about starting more in basketball. We did not have a game.
Talk about that crap. Well, I'm excited.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch.
The sports talk show that everyone's talking about. It's the Sports Couch on AreaSports.net.
Let's talk about starting more in basketball. We did not have a game.
Talk about that crap. Well, I'm excited.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch.
The sports talk show that everyone's talking about. It's the Sports Couch on AreaSports.net.
Let's talk about starting more in basketball. We did not have a game.
Talk about that crap.
Everybody healthy coming into the tournament tonight?
Well, I'm excited.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch. And if I'm not mistaken, I think one of us is Bryce and Jim watching the game on
The sports talk show that everyone's talking about.
We'll see you there later this afternoon. Everybody healthy coming into the tournament tonight?
Well, I'm excited.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch. And if I'm not mistaken, I think one of us is Bryce and Jim watching the game Everybody help me come in.
It's the local sports talk show that everybody's talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 99.9 Live at AreaSports.net. It's the local sports talk show that everybody's talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 99.9 Live at AreaSports.net. As well as good financial services. Southwark Television. It's the local sports talk show that everybody's talking about. It's the Sports Couch.
This is your home for best Christian music.
Now on Translator, WTHCS Central Network broadcasting at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on Saturday morning. I'm live
It's the local sports talk show that everybody's talking about. It's the Sports Couch.
This is your home for best Christian
Now on translator, you tune in to see us and Trip Network broadcast at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on Saturday morning on 95.5.
This is your home for best Christian music.
Now on translator, you tune in to see us and Trip Network broadcast at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on Saturday morning on 95.5.
This is your home for best Christian music.
Now on translator, you tune in to see us and Trip Network broadcast at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on Saturday morning on 95.5.
This is your home for best Christian music.
Now on translator, you tune in to see us and Trip Network broadcast at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on Saturday morning on 95.5.
This is your home for best Christian music.
Now on translator, you tune in to see us and Trip Network broadcast at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on Saturday morning
This is your home for best Christian music.
You tune in to see us and Trip Network broadcast at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
Well, yeah, hopefully so. As I said, he's improved every week from the off season to the season, and now as we go through, you can just see him maturing and developing in front of your eyes. That's been a pleasure.
You know, I started to say that has to be a pleasure for you as a coach, to someone that you're kind of nurturing and making grow, to see him have success and succeed. That's got to be a great feeling for you as a coach, Andy.
It is. It certainly is, and that's a big reason why you do this. Is I try to bring kids along and try to show them what they're capable of, and once that light bulb goes off in their head and they realize what they can do, then you just kind of sit back and watch and help them along, and it's that's the joy of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, with Linder and Crosby, they put in a lot of time, but I always push our guys. I always have. And, they kind of had a little bit of a funk this week, to be honest with you. They didn't play two of their better games this week.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get them back on track.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back to the early part of the season, to one of the earlier games, and this is a score that just jumped out at me, and I got to hear more about this game. You had West Frankfort come to town there at B. Gum Gym, and you blew those guys out 85-40. I mean, man, the Wildcats must have been clicking on all cylinders that night. Tell us about that game, Andy.
Well, it was kind of interesting because 10 seconds into the game, Crosby, our best player, gets a real cheap foul out on the perimeter, and he picks up two more by 3 minutes into the game. And we're coming off a game that against Fairfield in the third-place game of the Capital Classic where we only had 8 fouls.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Well, that particular game, both teams were in the bonus by the end of the first quarter.
Wow. Wow.
It was not very good. But it is what it is, and we developed some guys on the bench, and they came in and gave us minutes because we were in foul trouble early. But the good thing about that particular game, that was our home opener, and our guys were real excited to play at home. We had a really, really nice crowd, and I think it's just one of those that once we finally was able to get a little momentum going, because my goodness, when there's so many fouls called for every single thing done on the floor, it's kind of hard to get any kind of momentum going.
Mm-hmm.
But we eventually did, and had a nice ball game.
Yeah, well, I'd say you did. 85-40, that's a lot of points, and to beat them by that distance, I mean, that's a good win for you. So
yeah, and like I said, that was basically with Crosby playing about a quarter, because we didn't play our starters. We didn't play our starters in the fourth quarter, and he was out with fouls and didn't play the second. So he played about half of the first and a little bit of the third, and that was it.
Unreal. Wow. Okay. Well, Andy, I know you got another radio interview you need to do, so I'll let you go so you can get ready for that. But we appreciate your time this morning on the Sports Couch, and best of luck as the season rolls along, and we'll talk to you down the line, okay?
Sounds good, Randy. I appreciate it. Always fun talking to you.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Good luck
Thank
this
you.
week, Coach.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye-bye. That's Andy Fehrenbacher, head coach of the Salem Wildcats, and yeah, great interview there. Interesting things that he had to say, and I like Andy. I mean, he's pretty straightforward, and folks at Salem, they need to appreciate what they got there.
Oh, yeah, they got a special guy.
They do.
And I think I've talked to some people at Salem, and they knew this was going to be a process, and I really think they think it's happening faster. They thought he had pretty high expectations when he took that job, because Salem program was in disarray, and he's got it back on track, and I think people are pretty excited about Salem Wildcat basketball, and like you said, it's a shame that they're 3A with their enrollment. They're a much better 2A suited team.
Yeah, if they were a 2A school, they would be scary to the rest of the teams around here. That Cahokia Conference, for those of you who may not be as familiar with the Cahokia Conference and who's in it, obviously Breeze Central's in it, who they played last night, and they lost 44-33. But again, they were tied with the Cougars last night, 14-14 at halftime. And let's not forget, Bree Central's a team that has been to the Super Sectional and or the state tournament several times here in the last few years. I mean, that's a great program over there, and he's got his Wildcats playing at their level.
Well, we talked to the coach last week over there, and one of his kids can either go to Mater Dei or Bree Central, and
Right.
His team was 14-0.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Bartelso, great schools
yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah.
So Bree Central's definitely got some talented athletes coming in there. Then he said Columbia and Trenton, Westland. Those two schools are always tough.
They're having a good season. Trenton Westland, I think, are they not state ranked? I think they're on your list of the AP state ranked teams.
Yeah, they're seventh ranked team in 2A.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, and they're from that Cahokia conference. And then Columbia's always good. You got Carlisle and Freeburg in that conference. In fact, Carlisle came from behind to beat Freeburg last night.
In overtime.
Right. So that's a heck of a conference. And so, he jumped out of the Apollo and got into the Cahokia conference, but still some great competition. But it really is going to make travel so much easier for Salem, being in that Cahokia conference and what they were facing with Apollo when they're going up to Mahomet, Seymour, and, Lincoln and all these other teams.
Yeah, in the Apollo, you got Lincoln and Effingham, Mount Zion, Mattoon, Mahomet, Seymour, and Taylorville.
Yeah, I mean, those are some long trips. So it's going to be a lot better for Salem and their fans. All right. Who we got next? Who we got coming up here? We got Doug Miller coming up here in just a minute, don't we?
So his Gallatin County Hawks picked up a big victory last night, 53-47 over Pope County, and they will be in Game 2 at Conrad Allen today.
And we will talk to Doug about that coming up next as the Sports Couch continues. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Crawford Plumbing, LLC in Woodlawn is licensed, bonded, insured, and ready to serve your household and business plumbing needs. From leaky faucets to complete plumbing systems and repair, Crawford Plumbing in Woodlawn is a full-service plumbing company. They can be reached at 618-242-3360. Crawford Plumbing in Woodlawn is a proud underwriting sponsor of Real Life Radio.
At Roadhouse Harley-Davidson in Mount Vernon, they're getting ready for Christmas, and they invite you to stop in and see their giant Christmas tree, featuring tags for the Jefferson County Toys for Kids and the United Way. And you're invited out to their Festivus celebration on December 23rd. It'll feature an ugly sweater contest, a free Festivus dinner, and feats of strength to see if you can survive walking on Legos and mousetraps. It's all happening from noon until 2 on December 23rd at Roadhouse Harley-Davidson, located on the frontage road right next to the interstate in Mount Vernon.
Monthly financial support of local Christian radio is provided by Home Source Warehouse in Mount Vernon. Located 4 miles north of Mount Vernon on Route 37, Home Source Warehouse offers a warehouse full of quality furniture and mattresses with legendary service. Open Thursday and Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 10 to 3. You can find them on Facebook, and their website is homesourcewarehouse.net. Their phone number is 204-5515. Home Source Warehouse, where style is affordable.
Hey, welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net, and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio, along with Danny Anselment. And today, the Conrad Allen Tournament kicks off at Wayne City. There's going to be 4 games played today beginning at 12 noon, and Danny and I will be there to provide live video play-by-play coverage of 3 of those 4 games. And one of them that we'll be covering will be a game featuring the Gallatin County Hawks. And Coach Doug Miller joins us on the phone right now. He is the coach of the Hawks. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
Morning, guys. How are you guys?
Great. You got yourself a win last night over Pope County. I guess a nice little tune-up for action today as you jump into the Conrad Allen.
We did. We shot 19 of 60 last night. So anytime you win a game like that, you're happy.
Wow, 19 of 60, and you still won.
Wow.
Oh, it's our homecoming night. We had a packed place. We turned the lights off and had a spotlight show. Then went out and couldn't make a layup. So
Yeah, how about that?
That just shows you play good defense, you can win.
That's right. Defense wins ball games. And I know those homecoming games are fun for the kids, but it's kind of a nightmare for the coaches and athletic directors many times, isn't it? Because there's so many distractions, right?
They forget about the basketball game going on sometimes, and it's a hard game to coach.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, Doug, your Hawks are off to a good start. You have to be pretty well pleased how things are rolling along here so far.
We're 4-2. Carmine beat us by 2. It was a pretty physical game. I thought we played pretty decent in that game. And then El Dorado kicked our butts pretty good. They're the best team we've seen so far. And then we had a big win at Crab. They were 7-0, and we beat them Tuesday night at Crab. So, pretty good start.
Yeah, well, you talk about that El Dorado team, that's the land of the Giants right there.
It was a football game. They're 6'5", 6'6", and we're 6 foot and 5'11", but we battled the whole game. But very good team. They might be better than last year's team they had.
My thought was they could be very possibly that way. They've got to be one of the heads-on favorites down there for that EHT that'll be coming up. But you're going to be involved in a big tournament this week, and your Gallatin County Hawks could have a very strong showing up here this week. Doug, what's your thoughts on this tournament up here at Wayne City?
I was in this tournament 1997 to 2000 at Thompsonville, and I'm excited to be back in this tournament. It's a great tournament, good people down there. They have good food.
You and Randy, only you and Randy would think about the good food.
Hospitality room, you got to love it. You got to love it.
But it's a very good tournament. They did a good job at the tournament.
Yeah, Doug, there's going to be some interesting matchups this week. You got your Hawks, you got the Weber Trojans. Wayne City's off to a 5-1 start under their new head coach, and for as late as he got in that position, we talked to him earlier on, and he was very excited about the way his kids are playing. You got Crab Orchard up there, you got Sisney, so there's going to be some quality games this week up here.
Oh, yeah, there's pretty good coaches in this tournament and pretty good teams, so we'll have our hands full every night.
Looking at the El Dorado Holiday Tournament coming up, I know coaches don't like to look ahead, but, the field should be pretty strong down there at El Dorado. You're going to be almost in 2 Christmas tournaments.
We are. We kind of like this. We're going to play this week, and then we're going to take a couple of days off and then prepare for the holiday tournament. So it was kind of nice. Our kids got to spend Thanksgiving with their families. I gave them 4 days off for Thanksgiving, and we've gone so hard for so long, conditioning, lifting and stuff. It was a good 4 days off for me and my coaching staff and my kids.
Yeah, Doug, I think that's the thing that kind of gets lost in a basketball season. It's a grueling, hard line from start to finish, and when a guy has an opportunity to take a few of those breaks and spend some time with his family and just get the kids away from it, don't you feel you come back refreshed and maybe with a little more giddy up in your step?
We came back with some good hard practices, and the kids their minds were fresh, their legs were fresh. We played Carmine or Grayville on Monday, Carmine on Tuesday. We went 4 hours on Wednesday, and then 4 days off in a row with family. And then kids went shopping, kids went hunting. It was great for our program, I think.
Yeah, and they was glad to be away from the old grouch.
You're not kidding. You're probably exactly right.
Well, hey, let's talk about your returning guys this year. Audie Goebel obviously has to be somebody you're leaning on this year. He was a key player for you last year, and I'm sure he is this year too, right?
Audie Goebel's got a lot stronger. He's got a better outside shot. He scored 20 last night. He's starting to do mature things now. I said, you want to run spot or up? So 2 offenses, and he goes, let's run spot. It's working good. So I gave him a choice last night, and he picked it. And he was pretty quick to pick it, too. So.
All right.
Well, sometimes the main thing coach needs to do is just make sure his players get on the bus, isn't it?
And sometimes you do.
That's right.
You've got some other key players, Doug. Talk a little bit about those young men because you've got a lot of varsity experience coming back this season.
We had a returning guard, Prince. He comes back. He's a 2-year starter already. He'll be a junior this year. He had 15 last night. He's got better. He makes better decisions. His shot's better. He guards better. Aaron Walters is our only senior on the whole squad. Aaron Walters, he's getting better. Then Garrett Rushing's a junior. He starts for us. And then we start a sophomore, Dawson Hish, who has a big upside to his career.
Boy, that Hish name has been a long-standing name down there in Gallatin County, hasn't it?
It is. I got to coach Dane for my first season there as JV coach. And Dane was a key component on that Elite 8 team we had in 2012.
Yeah, it seems like some of these schools, Oakville's got some names that just keep showing up year after year after year, and Gallatin County Hawks are kind of the same way.
They do, and it's a close-knit community, and most people stay there.
Well, I got to ask you about another score last night from your conference, the Greater Egyptian Conference.
Sure.
Galatia win last night over Crab Orchard, 71-62. Did that raise your eyebrow?
Galatia is much improved. They are 6'7", 6'5".
Wow.
And we played them last Saturday. We just shot the ball really well and got out to a big start against them at Galatia. But they have 3 or 4 nice players, so they're going to be much improved this year.
6'7" and 6'5". What are they feeding those kids down there at Galatia?
I don't know, but Gallatin County's getting the wrong food.
That's right. Holy cow! I mean, that's big.
It is big.
All right. Well, no wonder they beat Crab Orchard last night. I mean, I saw that score and I thought, man, is that right, or should that be reversed? Is it Crab Orchard winning it?
They were only down 6 at El Reno at halftime at the Vienna tournament.
Wow.
So they can compete with some size a little bit.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that they had any kind of size. Did they get a transfer in or two also?
I don't know, but this kid's pretty big, though. They're big and physical.
Yeah. That's a couple things you can't teach, Doug. You can't teach big, and you can't teach fast.
That's very true. We tried. It didn't work.
Yeah. Hey, got to shift gears with you here a little bit while we got a couple minutes here. I know you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
I am.
All right. So what'd you think of the developments with Stanton decided that he was not going to, go for the trade that the Cardinals had in place with the Miami Marlins to bring him to St. Louis? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm at Bethlehem Breakfast at 10 Mile Church right now, and Jamie Brzezinski, my good buddy, said it's a great deal they didn't get him because he thinks he'll get hurt in a couple of years and we'd waste all that money. So that's
right.
Jamie's perspective right there.
Yeah. Well, my thought was, even if we got him, we were only going to have him for 3 years because he was going to opt out and then end up in L.A. or someplace anyway where he really wants to be.
3 years and he goes to West Coast. So
right.
I hope we get
Yelich.
We got to find somebody, though.
Yeah.
We can't continue what we're doing.
I would be happy if they make a deal with Yelich now to get him from the Marlins. And surely they've talked about that. I mean, they had to have a backup plan with the Marlins. So,
but see, I work at Gallatin County, and most of the people that I work with are Cub fans.
Really?
That far south? You got Cub fans that far south? What's wrong with those people?
It's been a tough 3 years. When they won the World Series, Mark Hiller and Coach Patton had this white sheet with a blue W hanging over the gym when I walked in the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I can imagine Coach Patton being involved in that.
Oh, my goodness sakes.
I wanted to call in sick when I saw that.
Yeah, they must have got infiltrated by Billy Rocket or something. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Good grief. Man. But no, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Apparently, he's going to end up with the Yankees or the Dodgers if they can work a deal out. But, it's kind of back when we were looking at all that money and stuff on the Pujols deal, and it turned out to be perhaps the best deal we didn't make. And maybe this thing with Stanton will be the same way.
I agree.
Oh,
we need
go ahead,
some
Dad.
other issues. We need a third baseman and some pitching. So
Yeah.
along with a big hitter.
Look for him to get real intrigued with Tampa Bay now. Colomb for a relief and Longoria to come and play third base.
Yeah.
The Cardinals have kind of wanted him for 2 or 3 years. He's getting a little bit toward the end of his career, but coming to a winter and a chance to play in postseason can really revive some people. And I thought it was great when this week the former Cardinal come out and he actually went to Stanton and said, hey, you need to really think about Matt Holliday.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That says a lot about the Cardinal organization because he didn't have to do that. The Cardinal organization kind of kicked him to the curb, and this guy could have had some ill feelings, but the time he spent in St. Louis was so great that he went to this guy and said, you may be missing out here. There's a lot more here than you're giving credit to be.
But the fans come out in St. Louis in a bad season and a good season. You can go to Cincinnati or Kansas City and get a box seat for $20.
Right.
And you can't do that in St. Louis.
No. I mean, there's something to be said for playing in front of 3 million fans year in and year out.
It is.
You'd like to have 3 million fans at Gallatin County for a season, wouldn't you?
And get their pay, too.
I mean, we've all seen those games on TV where Miami plays at, where Stanton plays at now with the Marlins, and there's never anybody in the stands.
It's
Never.
empty all the time.
Oh, it's horrible.
I had a gentleman that I'm pretty good friends with. He was down there vacation, and they decided just to go to the game. He said for $12 they sat in the third row field box seats.
Wow.
Yeah.
9,000 people was at the game.
I believe it. Yeah. Well, hey, for any of your fans who can't make it up to Wayne City today for the game, Doug, let them know that we will be video streaming your game and a couple of the other games today from the Conrad Island tournament. We'll have them on both.
We'll put it on Facebook for you.
Yeah, we'll have it on both websites. It'll be on foxesfans.net and on AreaSports.net. So either one that they log on, they'll be able to watch the game today from Wayne City, all right?
Sounds great, guys. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for being on the show with us today, Doug, and good luck.
All right.
All righty.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you a little later on.
Doug Miller, and I'm sure we'll see him in the hospitality room from some of the sound of things.
He's already got plans to make the trip. I don't know who's more excited, him or you.
And he's talking to us from a church breakfast right now, so he's got food on his mind today. He may have a hard time walking the sidelines today to coach with all that food he's eating for breakfast and then the lunch he's going to have there at Wayne City. So, oh, boy, that's hilarious. All right, well, when we come back, we're going to talk about a very happy Jeremy Varner, the head coach of the Foxes, after a big win last night. We'll talk to him about that victory coming up next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Choosing a construction company is a big decision because many companies come and go. That's why Greenwald & Sons Construction is a name you can trust. With over 40 years of experience, Greenwald & Sons Construction in Wayne City and Mount Vernon specialize in residential and commercial construction, as well as remodeling. They'll be happy to talk to you about a church addition, business expansion, or new home construction. Greenwald & Sons Construction, the experts you can depend upon. Their number is 895-2044.
Programming on 90.9 The Vine is underwritten by Provision Eye Care. Located in Mount Vernon, Provision Eye Care has a 90-year history of serving Jefferson and surrounding counties. They provide quality comprehensive eye exams along with diagnosing and treating eye disease. Provision Eye Care is located at 112 South 42nd Street, and their phone number is 244-0508. Dr. Jennifer Bass would like to share a passage from Proverbs 29:18. Where there is no vision, the people perish.
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon. B&C Bicycle Fitness specializes in bikes for the beginning rider to the high-end racer and can equip you with a comfortable bike to enjoy a healthy, active lifestyle with family and friends. B&C Bicycle Fitness is a full-service bicycle shop and is located at 410 South 27th Street in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 816-4077. B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon, where the adventure begins.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net, and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. And some of you listening on our mobile app as well, the Vine mobile app, which you can download from your favorite app store and take the Vine with you everywhere you go. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment, and a lot of basketball around the area last night. If you just joined us, we've got all the scores posted by conference so that you can see exactly what's going on in each of the conferences. Just check that out on our sports website at AreaSports.net. We've also got the AP basketball polls for both boys and girls also posted on our website. And before we get into our next guest, I just want to mention that, Danny, the Lady Foxes of Hamilton County, they totally snubbed by the sports writers of this state of Illinois because they're 9-0, and they didn't even get a sniff, didn't even get a vote in the 2A girls basketball poll.
Yeah, that just goes to show you really what these polls mean.
Right.
Harrisburg comes in ranked number 1 in 2A, and those two teams haven't met yet, but they battled over the summer, and those games could have went either way. Harrisburg won both times, but it was by less than 10 points. And for the Foxes to be 9-0 on the season and not even receive one vote,
right.
I tell you, in 1A, another team, Cesar Valier Waltonville.
Right.
They're undefeated in 1A, and they don't even get recognized.
Right.
So, really,
you wonder who these sports writers are who are casting the votes. I don't think there's too many of them from down south, is what a point I'm making.
But, another thing is the IHSA this week had a meeting and had several issues and recommendations that they voted on, and what amazed me is only 75% of the participating schools voted. Now, why would not have all the schools voted on this thing?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
They voted to increase regular season games to 31, and you can play in unlimited tournaments now. So, it's pretty amazing that only 75% of the schools had a say in it when they all could have had a say.
One more glaring thing I will mention about the basketball polls, and then we'll get to our next guest. In the boys' AP college basketball poll, high school basketball poll in Illinois, if you look at the votes cast in 1A basketball, pull that up. All right,
I
you
got
that
right
too?
in front of me.
You see down there that Patoka got a vote?
Yeah.
You know what their record is? 1-4.
1-4.
Why in the world would a team that's 1-4 even get any kind of a vote at all in the AP poll? So they're going on past reputations, what they're going on. So that's some sports writer from up around Chicago that wrote that vote, cast that vote. I guarantee you, because this person could not have possibly have seen Patoka play this year, nor have even paid any attention to the scores.
Got 3 votes.
Oh, they got 3 votes? Who
3
are
votes.
these guys? How can you give a team that's 1-4 3 votes in the AP state rankings?
I don't know, but it's kind of like an official giving a timeout when the ball's just rolling across the floor and nobody's got it. I'm going to get me one of these timeouts. You wait and see before the season's
Hey, let's
over.
ask Jeremy Varner about that. He's the head coach of the Hamilton County Foxes. He joins us right now. Foxes with a big win last night in Black Diamond Conference play. Good morning, Jeremy. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm doing well. How are you?
Great. Congratulations on the win last night. That feels good, huh?
Oh, man, it feels real good. First home game, first conference game. Big win for the guys. They deserved it and they earned it. And just coming in, we're watching film actually right now, and it's just a totally different spirit. The next morning, you come into places and get to hold your head high a little bit, for these guys. So it's good for them.
Well, Coach, you had a nice crowd on hand last night. You had a great student section. It's nice to see these kids come out and really support each other. But something I want to commend your team on last night, there were several instances where your team had their composure tested, and you did a great job of maintaining that, not let things get any uglier than they were. And I want to commend you and your gentleman on that, because I don't do this very often, but I was very discouraged about some of the things I seen going on in the ball game last night. It's just disheartening to see some of the things that I saw from my perspective where I was sitting, and I got a pretty good view of what goes on down there. And I thought your kids did a great job maintaining their composure last night.
Thanks. Yeah, we knew that was going to be a tough game. A physical game. Every Black Diamond game is going to be physical. That's for sure. El Dorado, Fairfield, Carmi, Johnson City, they're all physical teams. But you probably saw it a little better than I did. But I did have some guys coming back and just they were really tested, like you said, and but they had a bigger goal in mind, and they weren't going to let something like that get them get their focus out of the way, and because they had one thing in their head, and that was getting the win last night.
Your team come out, and I think Edwards County only took the lead one time in that contest last night. So basically, you led from wire to wire, and it was tied a couple times, but your team was resilient and found a way, made a turnover. I thought you had a pretty good defensive effort last night, and I thought your team played well.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing that we have really, really focused on. I know I told you this. I told you guys last time. Is just our defense has to be there. I mean, we're not going to score 75 points a game or 65 or maybe even 55. So we got to hold teams down, but we've also got to succeed against the zone. And I felt like last night we did that, because, I mean, the last 2 years, that's all. We've seen so many 2-3 zones and haven't been able to, find the hole in it or weren't patient enough with it. And, I felt like last night was kind of the first time that we took our time against it and found the holes and, eventually got a team out of it. So, moving forward, hopefully we'll see a little bit more man or some other defenses other than that sag and 2-3 zone that always seems to hurt us. So,
well, I thought your team did show a lot of patience in that. I sent Randy some scores last night, and he said pretty low-scoring affair in the first 2 quarters there. And I said, well, Edwards County's in a 2-3 zone, and the Foxes are doing a good job of hanging on the basketball. And it took a lot of time to get the shot that you was wanting, but basically you did, and you were able to capitalize on that. The only weakness I saw in your game last night, and I've seen that now 2 nights in a row, free throw shooting.
Yeah, what worry for the night? Is it 72%, I think? Is what we were. I think we're 18 for 25 is what I had us down for. Maybe 18 for 26.
Yeah, but till you got your free throw shooter at the line, it wasn't that good. Matt Rubenacker and Schaefer stepped up finally right there at the end when you got the ball in their hands. But some of these other guys are getting fouled. It's 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2. And that gives a lot of teams a chance. When Matt Rubenacker stepped up there, I think in that fourth quarter he may have been like 6 out of 7, and Schaefer was 4 out of 4, and that really brought the average up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get, I think Whipple, I think he was 4 out of 8, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities there. Jake plays in the middle for you, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities. Van Abema, I know one time he stepped up there late in that fourth quarter. He was in foul trouble early on. It just wasn't his night. It just seemed like he was in the wrong place at the wrong time all night. I was very impressed with your young freshman coming off the bench for you last night. He gave you some very valuable minutes. Yeah, and he's going to earn some more of those too. He's definitely, in a lot of years that he probably would be starting, but luckily we got some senior leaders that he's going to be able to, see and watch and come in and get his feet wet, so to say, and you bet he's strong when he's in there, and he does some really good things, but he does some freshman things too. But he's learning. He'll get a lot better by the end of this year. So
yes, I left the gym with that young man last night, and he's a very polite, very cordial young man, and I commended him on his game. He got tested right off the bat. As soon as he come in the floor to replace Van Abema, the senior that was guarding him gave him a pretty tough lick right off the very bat. He tried to flat intimidate the young man right off the bat. He didn't back down, and I was very impressed with that.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I saw this summer. He played with the varsity this summer in a couple tournaments, and he is as physical as anybody out there. He just doesn't have the strength quite yet to do it. But his very first game that he played this summer was against Luke Ford from Carterville. So that's who his first varsity experience was against. 6'7", 6'8".
Thanks, Coach. You really like me, don't you, Coach?
I think on the second set of free throws, Luke looked over at Robbie and said, "You're not going to try to box me out again, are you?" So that was pretty funny. He mixed it up pretty good with him. So.
Well, like I said, he's a very polite young man, and his love of the game of basketball, we just had a short conversation, but I can tell you he's a young man that has the passion for the game of basketball, and he'll be successful because of that passion.
Yeah, he loves every sport. I mean, he's all around athlete. I mean, he's good in football. I mean, I think he hit a couple home runs in baseball this past summer on the high school field. So I mean, he's just an all around athlete. But I think you're right. I think basketball is his main love, and we're glad to have him, and for the next 4 years, no doubt.
Well, looking at the Black Diamond last night, your opponent on Tuesday night will be the Fairfield Mules. They come up short last night against a fine El Dorado team, 62-54. And the Carmi Bulldogs traveled down to Johnson City, and a team you defeated last Saturday night takes them to the limit. Carmi finally wins in overtime, 68-63. What were your thoughts about those two games?
Well, that El Dorado close games, I kind of see that going along all this year. I think El Dorado is going to be the team everyone's going to try to, they're going to be chasing all year long. But, that's still a good effort by Fairfield, and that makes our job tougher on Tuesday. They're going to be 0-2 coming into that game. And then, Carmi, Johnson City, I'll tell you, Johnson City has a couple good guards. And, when we played them down there, it does not surprise me at all. The way they've played the first two conference games. They're a scrappy little team that got some good shooters, and Scott's doing a good job over there with them. You can really tell they got better from game 1 at Goreville to game 5. So.
Yeah, their guards, you talk about them. I think their two guards led them last night on that floor, and I saw some highlights, and they really picked it up on attacking the basket and created some opportunity for some other kids, and they're going to be a dangerous team all season.
Yeah, that won't be the last win they get. That Fairfield game. They're going to test people all year long. They against us. They just kept running those. Obviously, they were driving to the basket, but they kept running those guys off double screens. And they can catch and shoot. They put up some threes in a hurry against us. I think at one point they had 6 threes in the second half, and that's the only buckets they'd made. So, they're definitely good shooters. Carmi, they play tough. They just find a way to win too. What are they right now? 5-2.
Yeah, they had a good week over at that DuQuoin tournament. This Black Diamond's going to be a battle night in, night out. It looks to me like there's going to be a lot of very intriguing games all season.
It's no doubt about it, and and it's not like it's a bad thing. It's going to be hard once seeding time comes at El Dorado. Here in a couple weeks when there's going to be 3 or 4 teams sitting at 2-2, or a couple good teams maybe at 1-2, and somebody from the Black Diamond is going to have to be up there besides El Dorado. So, I think that's what we're looking at here the next 2 games for us is, can we go get these 2 and go get a seed and get us a decent game, for our first day over at the all-day tournament.
Yeah, well, your team's off to a good start. You have to be pleased with how things are going, Jeremy. Look forward to seeing you up on Tuesday night at Fairfield. You're going to go to the Mule Barn, and that's always a place the Foxes seem to bring a good effort against the Mules.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We always like playing Fairfield, and they, that's where we got our first conference win last year was at Fairfield, and I know they'll be thinking about that. They have lots of bulletin board material right now. I can guarantee you Coach Mack will have them ready to go on Tuesday.
Well, the Mules come off of effort on Tuesday night. I don't think they were very happy with their effort on Tuesday night, and they come back and they had kind of a hostile environment. I said I thought it was full moon last night the way things started out in several places. People were pretty feisty, and anyway, we were fortunate they got a lid put on ours last night from the get-go there and kind of changed it. It was ugly, but it could have been a lot uglier.
Yes, it could have been. Guys get tangled up when they play hard, and there's nothing wrong with playing physical. It's just when you get guys that get their feelings hurt and like you said, don't keep their composure, and that's when things can get bad, and that turns the crowd too. When players start getting called for technical fouls or intentional fouls, and that's when the fans get after it. So, if the team can withstand that and play physical and keep their composure, then, everything will be good.
Well, Jeremy, we appreciate your time. We'll look forward to talking to you down the line some more here and get prepared for those Mules on Friday night. Or Tuesday
Okay,
night,
thank-
pardon me.
Tuesday, yeah. All right. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
Jeremy, congratulations on the win. Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Jeremy Varner, head coach of the Hamilton County Foxes, and again, big win last night for the Foxes in the Black Diamond Conference, beating Edwards County, I should say, 44-34.
Well,
was the
you know,
final
Randy,
last night.
you got to defend home court.
Yes, you do.
And the Foxes done that last night. Now they got 2 tough road victories this week. They got to try to go get one from the Mules and one from the Bulldogs, and both those teams will be a handful.
Yeah, and then as he said, the Foxes did win last year in the Mule Barn, and I'm sure the Mules will have that back in their memory bank too. So it should be a good game, good matchup on Tuesday night. When we come back, we're going to talk to the head coach of the Flora Wolves. That's Phil Leib. He joins us next on the couch. Stay tuned.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Hamilton County Flooring on the south side of the square in McLeansboro offers a full line of flooring, cabinets, and countertops for your home or business. Countertops or showers are available in granite, quartz, corian, custom marble, or ceramic tile. Their showroom includes a complete line of flooring available in ceramic tile, cork, bamboo, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and carpeting, including name brands such as Armstrong, Bruce, Marazzi, Mulligan, Shaw, and Tarkett. We thank Hamilton County Flooring in McLeansboro for their support.
Support for 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio is brought to you by Bird Watson, located at 1200 Main Street in downtown Mount Vernon. They are more than just a store that offers medical equipment. They now have 2 new lines of products available: Vera Bradley brand bags and scrubs, along with shoes and scrubs from the Skechers brand. Their phone number is 618-242-2800. Bird Watson Downtown, more than just medical equipment.
Fairfield Mules basketball is on the air tonight. That's right, the Fairfield Mules are back in action tonight at Olney to take on an old NEC rival, the Olney Tigers. You can enjoy all the exciting play-by-play action with Bruce Dickey and Marty David beginning about 7:25 tonight here live on 90.9 The Vine Radio and also on AreaSports.net. The Tigers are coming off a fresh win over Red Hill last night, while the Mules will be looking to get back in the winning column after a tough loss to El Dorado last night. Join us for Fairfield Mules basketball against the Olney Tigers tonight, direct from Olney, live on your local radio station for local sports, 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
105.5 and 90.9 The Vine thanks Wibbles Repair and Sales in McLeansboro for their monthly underwriting support of local Christian radio. They repair small engines and ag equipment, and they sell small engine parts, including oil filters and belts. They have agriculture aftermarket parts, interstate batteries, big truck parts, and truck lighting. As Steel and Husqvarna dealers, they offer a wide variety of chainsaws, trimmers, and cut-off saws. Wibbles Repair and Sales in McLeansboro. Their phone number 618-648-2227. Open Monday through Friday, Saturdays till noon.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio. And, of course, streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. Last night, the Flora Wolves had a battle against an old NEC foe. The Lawrenceville Indians came into Conley Gym last night, and the Wolves had to come from behind, but they did. They came from at least 9 points down, I know, to win that one last night by 7, 78-71. Big victory for the Wolves, and joining us right now is head coach of Flora, and that is Phil Leib. Good morning, Phil. Whoa, are you there? What happened? Whoa, man, I've got some kind of a loud buzz here. Whoa. I'm gonna try calling you back, Phil, okay? We got some kind of a really loud hum there. I'll call you right back. Well, that's crazy, wasn't it?
Wow.
Not sure what that was.
I'll give you some rankings in Class
Okay.
Boys 1A. Colfax is number 1. Anawan is 2. Oakville Rockets come in 3. Depew is 4th. East Dubuque is 5. New Berlin is 6. Winchester 7. Newark 8. Polo 9. And Chicago Hope 10. In 2A's, Chicago Ore is number 1. Pinckneyville comes in at number 2. DePaul College Prep is number 3. Monticello is 4th. Winnebago is 5. T-Town is 6. Trenton Westland is 7. Chicago Uplift is 8. Rock Island Almond is 9. And Williamsville is 10. And I think he's got Phil back on the line.
I got Phil back on the line. Are you with us now, Phil?
I am.
Sorry about that. Some kind of a weird squeal on the line. Apologize for that. Hey, congratulations on the win last night, and I understand it was a career win number 300 for you as coach of the Flora Wolves. Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. Number 300 here at Flora High School. More than that elsewhere, but yeah, that's an awesome accomplishment. That doesn't happen by myself. So thankful for my wife and my family. Without their sacrifices and their support, that would not be possible. Thankful for the players that we've had throughout the years, and the parents getting in there and supporting us, and just the legacy that was laid before us. I've just been an honored, privileged member to be a part of it, and we've always tried to represent Flora High School and Flora Wolves basketball with honor, with dignity, and with class. And I feel like we do that, we're having some success.
Yeah, Coach, I think you hit on a lot of key points right there, but there's one you left out.
Well, most importantly, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for giving me the opportunity to coach the way I like to coach. So.
Well, that is a good one, too, but 300 wins just means that you're getting pretty old.
That is so true.
That means you've hung around for a long, long time.
Isn't that the truth? That means they're a great coach? No, they've just been around a while. So true.
Well, hey, that was quite a battle last night. We were getting scores as you went along there, and I know you were down by 9 points, maybe at halftime or early on. It was 23-14. You were behind by 9, and then I think after 3 quarters you were tied 56-56. So that was quite a battle with the Indians last night. Tell us about it.
It was. I mean, they came out, and Wolves, we've been playing pretty well, I think. But we were really tested last night as far as a team that came in hot. And, they were struggling. I think, Lawrenceville only got 1 win. They did not play like it. They did not shoot like it. They were, I think, 7 or 8 from the three-point line in the first half alone.
Wow.
And, it was watching Villanova Georgetown back in 1983 or 85. It was unbelievable. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, what we got to do? And so we switched it up a little bit with man, but it didn't matter what we did. They were still scoring, and we were plagued with turnovers, just careless decisions, bad decisions on the other end. So we tried to make a run, and they answered back, and next thing you know, we're down 9 going into halftime, and it's just our last second play, we just kind of jogged into it, just walked into it, and I said, that's exactly how you play the first half. We just wanting things, expecting things, but not willing to work for it, not playing with a sense of urgency. So we picked up the intensity that second half. Third quarter came out, got a little bit more after it on the shooters and on our press, and then started attacking the basket a little bit better on the offensive end. And next thing you know, we put up 26 points in the third quarter and held them, I think, down to about 15 or so. And anyway, ended up tying it at the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth, and it was back and forth there for a little bit, and then lo and behold, 4 minutes to go, we forced some turnovers, had some runouts, had some big buckets for us, and now we're up 7 or 8, and it's just a free throw contest, and from there on out.
Well, Coach, they always say most games are it's a streak of runs, and if you can maintain the run or stop the run of the other team, that you can give yourself an opportunity, and it sounds like that's exactly what went on in this game last night.
It is, and that's so true, and that's part of, being that years of experience. I think sometimes, as young coaches, I remember when I was younger, when teams are going on a run, you tend to panic and you press the panic button. You try to change things up and do something different, and versus just staying the course and weather the storm. And that's what I told the boys: hey, weather the storm, keep playing hard. They're not going to keep hitting those shots, and fortunately, they did not. And we stayed with what we've been doing and what's been working for us, and that's we forced a lot of turnovers there in that fourth quarter, and we was able to capitalize on our end. And like I said, we broke, we bend, but we did not break. And that's a lot with life. I mean, life is a game of runs. Life is all about runs. It's just what you do in those valleys. where you get the most growth, so you can enjoy those mountaintop experiences.
That's so true. But, boy, hitting those free throws last night down the stretch is big, too, because if you don't hit those free throws in those closing minutes, it could have a different outcome, couldn't it?
Absolutely, and we've struggled with that lately. But last night, the boys had a bit different confidence about them. They stepped up with a little bit more assurance. I found that with these guys, we need about a 7-point lead or more for some comfortable. Other than that, we get a little bit tight.
Yeah.
And I mean, most kids do. But anyway, they stepped up. They knocked them down. Obviously, as a coach, we want to make them all, but that's probably just not going to happen most of the time. But as a whole, I thought the Wolves played well. We had Trenton Brown score 33 for us.
Wow.
Drew Woodrow put up 21, I think. Then my son Owen added with 11 and almost a double-double. So we had 3 guys with double figures and got some scores, got some. It was fun to watch, not fun to be coaching because it is intense. But at the same time, the gym was full. It's 78-71, a lot of action going on, and it's just a fun night of basketball at Florida High School.
Well, you had a big win on Tuesday night, too, at home there as Edwards County came to town at Conley Gym, and you won that one by 9 points, 50-41. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, Edwards County, I got a chance to watch them in the over there at Cumberland in their tournament. I thought they did some really good things. I thought they had some size. I thought they had some shooters to go with them. They're athletic. They're big. I was kind of really concerned because we are neither one of those. But we was able to get Wallace in foul trouble a little bit early, and then but we was never really able to establish a lead. We get up 10 and they'd come back. We get up 6 and they'd come back, and I think it was a tie ball game going into half, and then made some adjustments in the third quarter, and we ended up extending that lead to about 11 going into the fourth quarter. And it was just back and forth from there on out, but they never got closer, I think, than 9, which was at the end of it. So we was able to play a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more at ease a little bit, but Russ has done a good job with those guys. I know they're young. They'll be probably better as the year progresses, and I know they're battling a little bit of injuries right now, too, so that never helps the situation either.
What's next on the schedule for your Flora Wolves, Phil?
Oh, it gets a lot easier for us. We got Mount Carmel at home.
Oh, hey, yeah, that's a cupcake.
And I say that in jest because, man, they are so solid. And I know many people may know that Murcott is out with a knee injury, and we wish him a full recovery, and I really sincerely mean that. But man, those other guys just really stepped up. They stepped into it. They play hard. They get after you. They're so long and athletic. They got some scorers. They got some shooters. They got kids that are seasoned and are veterans. I mean, they were second in the state last year, and before the tournament started back, with a solid bench around that supporting cast. So it's going to be a formidable opponent. I got a chance to watch them a little bit, and I thought I didn't know how they'd be without their big guy inside, but they are just fine.
Yeah.
So we've got a work cut out for us, but looking forward to the challenge, looking forward to the opportunity. It's really just we battled some storms. Let's see what happens when we face a hurricane. So that may be what we were going to
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, well, and they're going to be hungry, too, after their loss last night as they got beat by Vincennes Lincoln. And I know that one thing that Coach Buss is probably upset about is they got outscored last night in the fourth quarter of their game 13-1. How often is Mount Carmel held to 1 point in the fourth quarter?
Exactly. And I think knowing Vincennes Lincoln, I know sometimes they like to run that delay game. I think it's a low-scoring game, and so they'll spread them out. And I think Mount Carmel probably got a little frustrated and ended up having to foul or starting to trap a little bit and start to gamble. And you're right. And, sometimes we get in pressure situations and you start desperate. Then things are different. It changes your personnel, it changes your mentality, and 1 point in that quarter will not make a coach very happy.
No, definitely not.
They always say desperate people do desperate things.
Exactly. You're either motivated by two things. You have desperation or inspiration.
You're there. That's right. That's right. One or the other. Hey, you say you got a fresh soft game getting ready to go on there today. Who you playing today, Coach?
We got Effingham came down. They're coming in on Saturday morning, so we got a fresh soft going on here. As soon as I get off the phone, I'm going to step across on the other side of the hallway into the Conley gym. Right now I'm in the small gym, which I don't mind at all. But just a busy time of the year for the Florida basketball program. We've had a lot of games with varsity and also a lot of games with the fresh soft. So, but after that, we got next week, and then after that, we get some Christmas break and enjoy time with the family.
Right. Well, we'll let you go so you can enjoy that fresh soft game this morning, and we appreciate your time on the Sports Couch as always. And again, congratulations on the win last night over Lawrenceville.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Take care now. Okay.
Congratulations on your milestone, Coach.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. That is Coach Phil Leib, again, first-class guy all the way, and 300 career wins at Flora. You know, he was coaching before he came to Flora, but he's had 300 wins just coaching the Wolves.
Well, you know, to come in and put your kind of stamp on that program, Andy, that tells you what kind of a quality of person he is.
Mm-hmm.
And like he thanked all the people that's involved with that, because it's just not him, you know. But still, he's the captain of the ship, and he's done a good job guiding that program.
Well, he's had some good players, but he's also had some good parents too, and all that plays into success there, too.
Absolutely. You got to have it all.
You definitely got to have it all. But, yeah, they got 2 big wins this week at home. They beat Edwards County on Tuesday, beat Lawrenceville last night, but they'll have their hands full with Mount Carmel, especially with the Aces coming off that loss last night. Coach Buss will have those guys ready to go.
Yeah, I'm sure he had them ready last night, but things just didn't work out, you know. And some nights it happens that way. It's like he said, Lawrenceville was 8 out of 9 from the arc in the first half. You go in halftime and you got to be thinking, if I can't continue,
surely
to shoot
not,
like this.
right? Yeah, I would like to know more about what happened in that fourth quarter last night, though. That Mount Carmel game, getting outscored 13-1, and maybe Coach Leib is right. Maybe Vincennes Lincoln went into the stall. And they were just chasing. You know, they were behind, and they were having to chase and foul, and maybe that's all that fourth quarter was. I don't know.
You know, that's kind of like the Benton Rangers. They held Heron to 2 field goals in the second half last night. That game was pretty close at halftime, and the Rangers ran away with it. But they only allowed 2 field goals in the second half.
How about that? Hey, we're out of time. We need to get out of here because we got to go set up in the gym over there across the way at Wayne City. So a little programming note for you. We will have 3 games for you today on AreaSports.net. They won't be on the Vine, but we'll be on AreaSports.net with live video streaming from the Conrad Allen Tournament here in Wayne City. First game is between Weber Township and Sisseton. That starts at 12 noon. Then Gallatin County, who the Hawks play? Crab Orchard?
Crab Orchard.
Crab Orchard at 1:30. Yep. And then we're not going to do game 3. But game 4 will be Wayne City.
And I'm not sure who they're playing.
And I don't have it in front of me, but Wayne City plays the 4:30 game this afternoon. We'll have that one for you, too. So 3 of the 4 games we'll have for you with live video streaming on our sports website at AreaSports.net from the Conrad Allen Tournament. And then tonight, Bruce Dickey and Marty David will be up at Olney tonight to bring you Fairfield Mules basketball as the Mules take on the Olney Tigers. That will be both on the radio here on the Vine on 90.9 and 105.5, and also will be streamed on AreaSports.net as well as our mobile app and all those different things too. So a lot of basketball for you today. High school basketball this afternoon and tonight here on AreaSports.net, and, of course, the Mules and the Tigers tonight here on the Vine as well. So
should be a big day of basketball.
Absolutely. And, again, if you want to check out the scores from last night's games, you can check those out on AreaSports.net as well as those AP basketball polls for boys and girls that are posted there as well. We're going to get out of here. Hope that you have yourself a nice weekend, and thanks again for listening. Thanks again to all of our coaches, guests for joining us this morning, and thanks again to our sponsors. And we'll talk to you next week for another edition of the Sports Scouts at 8:30 right here. So long, everybody.
This is your home for best Christian music.
WVYN.